Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, I have some news. I am creating this new, I'm going to call it a niche in the coaching world. As a lot of people have been talking about how and people have been talking about this for a long time, but they can't fully express themselves. And now I'm specifically honing in on intimacy and relationships and ways of being, which is like a very broad spectrum. But the thing is, the more we suppress our sexuality and our eccentric ways of being, the quicker you are to the finish line, as in, kick in the bucket. Which for me, I don't know about y'all, but for me is really scary. So I want to create in my lifetime, which is now becoming my purpose on this planet, is to create safe, sensual playgrounds for people. A way of kicking the social labels of whatever, if it's gender, relationship status, all of those things, because you know what? It's unnecessary. We don't need it. Because at the end of the day, when you're like, I'm a straight monogamous, you're shoved into a box. Maybe there's an element of polyamory or an element of being bi-curious that you would like to explore. But because you've shoved yourself in this box called straight monogamy, you feel so shameful and not able to explore because it's so outside of it's outside of your comfort zone, but it's also outside of your boundary. Because as soon as you put yourself in a box, there are contexts and requirements and things that you need to uphold if you want to be in integrity. And if you haven't figured out by now, my life is all around integrity with self, mainly. Because if you can't have integrity with self, you actually don't have integrity at all. So I'm shifting this conversation into what would it look like for you? Yes, you. No matter what your status is right now, if you're vanilla, wanting to explore, married, not attached, polyamorous, monogamous, it doesn't matter. What if you just took a step outside of whatever you decided you were? So that could look like opening up a relationship. That could be polyamory. That could be, I've been polyamorous for so long that now I want to just like straight up monogamy. Or are there ways we can develop even just a conversation around throwing out the labels for one? Okay, like let's throw those out for just for this conversation at least. And what would it look like to be a pure creation? Meaning you can have anything and anyone you wanted. You can be any way you want to be, and whether that's in a sexual nature or not. You can have a family, however that looks, doesn't matter. You could have travel and running a multi-figure business. And how about this world where we live everything together? Like everything that I just mentioned could be yours. Like a both and. Why does it have to be either or? You know? So I'm just playing with this idea. This is just very much in the nuance of what drives people to be in these types of relationships? What drives people to want something outside of themselves? And another piece is like, what drives people to cheat in relationships? Is it because we constrict ourselves so much in that box of monogamy and what marriage means and all the things that we can't speak out about maybe wanting to explore, just maybe like even if it's for our birthday? that we have to hide and shame ourselves about the hiding, not even just the thing or the act itself. It's like we shame ourselves because we know it's wrong to hide from someone that has no integrity. But then at the same time, how do we express ourselves fully in a safe way that we don't feel like we're going to lose that person, or we don't feel like things will drastically change because we decided something for ourselves? And the thing is about change, it's the only constant in life. So why not change the conversation about what relationships look like, what throwing out labels could look like? And it doesn't need to be just in the sense of relationships or intimacy. It could be anything. Like one of the things growing up that really got to me with my mom was she always believed I was in a cult. My first personal development program was Landmark. And I know there's a lot of controversy with this program and this business and all the things. And I'm going to tell you firsthand, it's not a cult. And even if it is a cult, what a beautiful cult to be a part of, my friends, because we learn about how and what it means to be human. How is that wrong? Is a religion not a cult in some fashion? Is a family not a cult in another way? Like, if we really want to get nitty gritty on what a cult is and isn't, then y'all living in your own cult somewhere in some part of your life. So anyways, I digress. My point in saying all of this is like, that was a label that was put on me because of a judgment my mom had about whatever was going on in her life. I don't blame her for it. She has her opinion. She's entitled to those opinions. And I have the right to say, hey, that's cool for you. I understand how you can think that. And at the same time, I'm happy. I'm clean. I'm clear. I'm good to go. Whatever's going on in your world, it's great. Okay. So I never want anyone to feel like they've trapped themselves in a box. And if you have, let's figure out a way to get you out. Okay. And it doesn't mean you're like trapped forever, or like you made the wrong move, or you made a mistake. And even if you did make a mistake, you know what the thing is about mistakes? They teach you the most valuable lessons. So the whole point of this, any of this changing the conversation, is to take out the shame and the judgment of self and others. I never want anyone to feel like they can't express themselves because of the fear that they have of judgment. Imagine if we all started working on our fear and working on our judgments and working on ourselves, our old patterns and beliefs, and didn't actually view the world in a scarcity way, the way we do right now. Can you imagine what that would be like? Honestly, whether it happens in my lifetime or not, this is the way it's going for me. My purpose on this planet is to shift what we deem normal and start opening up different conversations. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean you need to be an armchair activist and sit there and ridicule those who enjoy what they're doing. Okay. That's my 2 cents. That is my 2 cents. So before I get into a rant about all of these things, because this is a very new conversation, even in my own head, I want people to start engaging with this. And I want to know your thoughts authentically. Nothing harsh, nothing to ridicule, but I just want to know your actual opinion on stepping outside your comfort zone and stepping outside the box that we as humans have created in our language, whatever that box may be, right? So it could be a gender thing, it could be a relationship thing, it could be a race thing, like, oh, that's so common of such and such a race to do those things. And it's like, why? That's just another box you put people in. And then what? You don't allow them to be human? That's an expectation you have of every Canadian or every American or whatever race we're talking about. Like, honestly, it just boggles my mind how we restrict ourselves, and that's many areas of our life, folks. This is not just in the bedroom. This is why it's bedroom and beyond, because it's beyond what happens inside of intimacy. How you do one thing's how you do everything. You're showing up in all these areas the same way. This is why you are a human being, not a human doing. Yes. Okay. Okay. I love you. That's all I actually have for today. Just a quick zip, a quickie, if you will, inside the bedroom and beyond that. And really start to ponder in your own life, what would it look like to not put myself in a box? What would it look like to finally say yes to my fantasy? What would it look like to finally like open my heart up to my desires and let them come flooding through? And just sit with it. I don't want you to do anything with it. I just want you to like ponder, give yourself some space, give yourself permission to even want to think about those things. We've snuffed ourselves so far in that box that we can't even think about them. That's interesting. So, sending all my love. Please, 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 if anything resonates, reach out, comment out the wazoo. I love hearing from you. And if this resonates or you feel like someone else could really benefit from this conversation and just start it, definitely share, like it, subscribe to it. It'll notify you when there's more. We always have them coming out on Fridays. So I hope you are well. I hope you are expanding your mindset. And this is what this channel is about. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.